Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another BKFC Reddit Ask Me Anything. We're joined by a new face of the program, Dan Gardner. How you doing, sir?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Now, I was doing some research on you. Will you be going by Dan DJ Gardner for this upcoming fight, or is it no longer DJ?
Well, so I fought a long time ago, like 13, 14 years ago. And in the middle of when I was doing that, I was DJing a lot of parties, a lot of events. So I did DJ a lot, and that's why everybody called me DJ Dan. So they're like, bring it back. Come on.
Let's talk about the layoff. 13 years. I mean, I was looking for some videos, and all your videos are like 14, 15 years ago. Like, it's way the hell back there in the time machine.
Oh,
Why
I'm
such a
surprised
long
you
layoff?
found them.
Oh, I found two or three. Yeah, there was a couple out there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was into MMA quite a bit. I did it for about 4 years, loved it, did 6 pro MMA fights, and I absolutely loved it. Having the background of being a wrestler, just being back on the mat and competing and everything. And after my last fight, I met someone, my wife, and she took up all my time. And I had to get life. I had to get pretty serious about life and everything, and start focusing on that instead of focusing on hobbies and things like that.
Okay, is part of the reason you came back like you want to be able to show your I know you have a family now. Would you like to be able to show your kids, hey, look, this dad's a badass, you know what I mean? So it's part of the reason you came back, to show the kids, hey, I still got it.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's one of my main drivers, actually, is because I want my kids to see that dad still likes to compete, and that if you set your mind to something, you can literally do anything. They've seen me train hard. I bring them to all my trainings with me, and I have them come with me to the gym, to the bucked up gym, and different things like that. And they love it. They love to see dad get in this you know mental state where I'm ready to compete. So I want my kids to see that. I want them to see, win or lose, whatever it is, all the preparation that goes into it. Things don't just come easy. You got to work for it. You got to, strive to do different things in life that you wouldn't normally do and get out of your comfort zone.
Okay, so when I was watching your video, the thing that I noticed, you have a hell of an overhand right, and you love to elbow people in the face. So how difficult is it going to be not to elbow people? Like, you were smashing people with the elbows.
Well, yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. I mean, having 13 years off, I mean, literally, I hadn't even sparred in 13 years. And so it's retraining my brain. But now with the trainer I have now, it wouldn't even come second nature. I wouldn't even try. So, but back in the day, yeah, that'd be really hard.
Okay, so who are you training with? We know that BKFC does a lot of stuff with Jeremy Horn's gym out there. Are you training with him, or you got somebody else that's training you?
Yeah, I'm not with Jeremy. I'm with a guy named Clay Collard. Clay Collard actually just fought in the PFL just last week.
Okay.
He's been the trainer for me, alongside with a gentleman named Jason Mertlick, who is the coach for Clay as well. And so just doing his training, mostly just all the boxing and the preparation for that. And then obviously with strength and conditioning, I have a coach. His name's Mike Simkoviak. He dude's a beast. So got to hire the best if you want to fight the best.
I look at you and you're jacked. I'm surprised you need a strength and conditioning coach, because you are like you're a dude who competes in the muscle, like
Mhm.
bodybuilding and stuff. So
Yeah.
how does that help you, having a strength and conditioning coach?
Well, I mean, the benefit is just the fact that like he knows how to structure the workouts to help me with endurance, to help me with long standing time under tension, and really pushing me to where if I just go and do it myself, yeah, I know how to work out, right? I
Okay.
know how to lift weights, I know how to do those things. But when you're there with a trainer, it just takes it to a whole nother level. And then having somebody who holds you accountable and push you past your limit of what you can actually do, that makes all the difference in the world. Like if you're working out by yourself, you're not doing your hardest. I don't care who you are. If you have someone there sitting there holding you accountable, then you're going to be working your ass off that much more.
Okay, so I talked to your brothers. They sent in a question. If you were gonna guess the question that your brothers would ask, so what would you think it would have been?
The question my brothers would ask?
Yeah, your brothers sent me, both brothers sent in a question, but like, they both asked kind of the same thing for the initial question.
The question's going to be about the fight. You know,
Ryan said, does he think he can beat up his older brothers?
he already knows the answer to that. I mean, is he asking at the same time? Can I beat up both of them at the same time? Is that what they're asking?
Would you say you're the toughest of the Gardner kids?
Uh, yeah, I would. I mean, I'm the youngest of 8. I've always had a little chip on my shoulder. I've always been the shortest one, kind of the runt of the litter, and I've always felt like I had something to prove with the family. Jeff, Ryan, the owners of Bucked Up, and then the other brothers, they're all freak athletes. Our whole family is super athletic. And so I've always had something to prove. Those guys, they're good at playing with balls. I'm more of a hands-on kind of guy. So
All right, and then I'll give you the question your brother Jeff said. He said, ask him how it is preparing for the fight compared to a few years ago training for MMA.
yeah. So honestly, the anxiety level's a lot higher just because it is bare knuckle. I mean, I understand that there's a lot more on the line here when it comes to injuries, right?
Sure.
Um, when it came to doing MMA, my background was wrestling. I knew I could always take someone down. I was really good at taking people down, getting them on the mat, and I could keep it in my, in my wheelhouse. This here, it's totally new to me. This is foreign territory, stepping toe to toe with somebody and, just seeing where you're at. It's anybody's game. So my preparation for this one is just making sure I have solid game plans, making sure that my cardio is there, making sure that, I'm protecting myself more than I normally would in a normal MMA match where I could just hurry and go in and get the takedown. So it's a lot different.
All right, we see Kai. He's a wrestler. He has a lot of success. I know he also does a lot of stuff with Bucked Up. Have you picked his brain at all? Like, hey, I'm a wrestler. You're a wrestler. Like, give me some info, or not yet?
No, not really. Not really. He was with us at one of our big expos that we do down in Las Vegas at the Olympia, and it was fun watching him. And I talked to him a little bit there, but I've watched a lot of his fights, just being a huge fan of Kai. He's freaking awesome. And so just seeing his strategy on how he works being a wrestler, I'm going to be doing very, very similar things.
So Kai just fought my guy over in Dubai, corner Tommy Stridham. The one thing that you wrestlers have, and I too am a former wrestler, cardio for days. Is that one of your? I mean, you have a lot of muscle, so muscle takes a lot of blood, but do you have the cardio to go with it?
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. Let's just say it's a work in progress all the time. I mean, I don't care how good a shape you are in. You could always be in better shape, right? You can always go for longer. So, but that really has been a huge focus of mine. I mean, I started this at like 225, and now I'm down to about 197. And it's mainly just because I've been doing a ton of cardio every single day. So my training right now looks around like doing 10 3-minute rounds, and just I've slowly been able to get to the point where I feel comfortable doing those now.
If Bucked Up wasn't a part of BKFC and partner with them, would you be doing bare knuckle, or would you be probably doing an MMA match if you're going to do it?
I wouldn't be doing any.
Okay.
I wouldn't be doing it. Let's just call it what it is. There's no, I wouldn't be doing any. It's the fact that we're sitting there cage side and we got Dave Feldman sitting there being like, "Yo, you need to get in there. You need to get in there." I'm like, "What, dude? This is nuts. This is crazy. Who does this stuff?" And then I'm like, "Look, this is sick. I love it. I love the feeling. I love competing. I love the atmosphere. I love what's going on here." I said, "If you can talk to my wife and convince her," which she was sitting right there ringside with us too. I'm like, "If you can talk her into it, then I'm down." Right. And he went over there, and my wife, she knows me all too well. She knows how much I love to compete, how much I love to push myself and work towards a goal and get in there and fight and stuff like that. So she's like, "Yeah, if he wants to do it, do it." And Dave was like, "Sign him up. We're doing this." It was awesome.
Did your wife say you get to do one, or is it one of those kind of contingent, like if it goes well, you get to do another one, or like one is good?
She's not telling. Look, she's my biggest fan, right?
Sure.
So whatever I decide to do, whatever, like if I put my mind to something, she wants to support me full force. Like she's so great that way. So would I do another one after this? I don't know. We'll see. First time I did an MMA fight, I didn't even throw a punch before
Okay.
my first fight. I hadn't even done any of that. I took the dude down. You probably saw the fight. I elbowed him, knocked him out, fell in love with it, and that made me keep doing it for another 4 more years, 5 more fights. So who knows?
We see that you've already had an opponent change. Your opponents are also kind of 0-0. So is it one of those things like you are you trying to look for any tape on your opponent, or you're just focusing on what you do best?
I mean, look, of course I want to go and see everything about my opponent and study and be ready for it. But honestly, for me, it's not about the opponent, right? I'm going to go there and I'm going to do my fight either way, right? Obviously, body height, different things like that. So I know his specs of, how tall he is and we're going to be weighing the same weight, his length, his reach, and different things like that. I know that, right? And so to go and do tape on him and stuff like that, I saw one fight of his. I think he did one like, honestly, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. He
Okay.
did a bare knuckle fight against a guy up there in Billings, Montana, and he looked awesome. I mean, this guy Shane, he kind of has the same story as me, where he went away from the sport for a while, and now he's back. So, he's older like me. I'm 40. He's 39. So I think this pairing, this matchup actually looks a lot better than what I had before.
The one thing that I love about bare knuckle is I interview a bunch of people, and they're all former MMA guys. They were like, "Oh, is burnout with MMA, or is too hard on my body?" And bare knuckle, like it's so much easier on my body, and I don't hurt nearly as much as training with the wrestling and all that. And like you said, if it's an even matchup and two dudes want to punch each other in the face, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is just kind of one of those raw, most just coolest thing to going toe to toe, two guys stepping in the cage and locking it and just let it happen.
Okay, so we know you're involved with Buck Up. You're the financial. What exactly do you financial
No, I'm the chief sales officer
sales? Okay,
for
okay.
Bucked
So
Up.
you're chief sales officer. Can I ask you how the brand awareness has changed since you've partnered up with BKFC?
Yeah, absolutely. So before BKFC, so BKFC was really our first really big investment in marketing, right? We'd always been kind of just doing our own way. That's what we specialized in, is doing internet marketing and really going on social medias and going on just different avenues of being able to push our brand out there, using a lot of brand ambassadors and all that kind of stuff. So finding someone that we can go and get behind on a marketing campaign was just awesome. And the way that it all came together was so cool. We feel like we got in right at the very, very perfect timing. I mean, it was right before the Eddie Alvarez, Chad Mendez fight, Mike Perry fighting,
Rockhold.
yeah, Luke Rockhold. And it was out there in Denver, and we went out there, and holy cow, that that fight, that buzz, and the amount of views that happened after that, it really helped put Bucked Up on another level, on the map, another level, because people are seeing it everywhere. So, what does this kind of marriage between the two brands done for us? I mean, I think it's elevated both of us significantly, and it's been awesome because it's all about brand awareness and getting as many people as we can to see the brand.
Okay, we see that you do quite a bit of stuff with Mike Perry, and Conor McGregor now has a bucked
Mhm.
up flavor. What would be like the next? I mean, can you give us any idea? Like, what do you have more stuff planned, or like right now you're kind of in a holding pattern?
No, no, we plan on doing more with BKFC. In fact, they made a little flavor for me for the fight coming up, and it's going to be BKFC branded and things like that. We are constantly innovating at Bucked Up. And so we will constantly be pushing different products like these things sitting right here. These are brand new protein RTDs, right?
Okay.
It's not an energy drink, it's a carbonated protein. And I'm sure eventually we're going to do something with BKFC where they get those as well, because it's just about expanding the line and making sure that it makes sense within it.
Sure.
With BKFC and Bucked Up to do another product or another uh, innovative thing, right? Whatever it is. And I guarantee we're going to do a lot more things. a lot.
At some point, I'd love to see like a champion on a can or something, like Mike Perry on a can, or like I think that'd be fun. But like you could almost do like collector, like you put them up on the shelf. But yeah, I love seeing everybody support you guys so much.
I wish I had the bottle. We just released a brand new Mike Perry Platinum edition of our
Okay,
pre-workouts, and it's a platinum bottle. Normally, our bottles look like this, like black, right?
sure.
With Mike's, it's a platinum bottle, and so we have really cool editions. And I think, yeah, of course, we'll do more of that, like with champions and things that just get us more and more eyeballs.
All right, so we have a couple fighters in the Reddit, and they were curious. Do you have any plan to offer some caffeine-free supplements that don't taste awful like the competition?
Well, we just talked about one of them.
Okay.
Right? So this is a caffeine-free protein drink, 25 grams of protein. It's only got 100 calories. It's super clean. I mean, this stuff right now, we were the first ones to come out with a carbonated protein drink, whereas normally you get like you said, that doesn't taste nasty. Like all of our stuff at Bucked Up, it's the best tasting that there is out there, period. Right? We're the very best tasting. These ones, because they're carbonated, it doesn't give you that chalky, nasty kind of lining taste in your mouth. So it's really good.
Okay, so we know you guys have Bucked Up, but a lot of people don't know you guys come from very humble beginnings, right? Like you didn't start with that golden horseshoe. You guys had to build it. Can you talk kind of about your upbringing and like the country life?
Yeah, absolutely. So my two brothers, Jeff and Ryan, they're obviously the owners and founders of Bucked Up, right? There's a 10-year age gap between us. So the way that they were raised was a lot different than the way I was raised. I mean, I kind of lucked out. I'm the youngest, so of course I got spoiled and everything like that. But we still lived in Clearfield, Utah, where we grew up on a farm, right? There's one thing that we were taught when we were younger, and that was just how important it is to work hard. No one matches our work ethics, right? And our dad and our mom just really instilled that into us. And so growing up on the ranch, where we would have to go out and work in the fields, where we'd have to go and take care of the animals, we'd have to go out and milk the cows. We constantly grew up with animals that we had to take care of, and it taught us just that really good work ethic. And we started just doing what we could. We would just figure it out. Right? Like we didn't know what we were doing half the time. We would just go and try and figure it out. And so starting with Bucked Up, luckily we had a good background of doing the internet marketing. So Jeff and Ryan, they've owned an affiliate network for online marketing for about 20 years previous to Bucked Up. And so we were constantly driving traffic and helping people grow their brands, but we wouldn't do it on our own. We would just do like the consultation, and we would help them out, and they would pay us to help grow their accounts and grow their business. But we kept on running into issue after issue after issue where they wouldn't be able to keep up with the demand that we would supply them, right? Their merchant accounts would go down. They'd run out of product, and they do all these things. So finally, Jeff and Ryan are like, why don't we do our own, right? And they did one product before Bucked Up, and they had a ton of success. And then they came out with this other one, this new thing called deer antler spray. I don't know if you know the story of this, but with deer antler spray, this is how they started it. They read it in Sports Illustrated. Yes, people read Sports Illustrated. They don't just look at the pictures, right? In the swimsuit edition. Some people actually read it. And they went online, they bought the domain name deerantlerspray.com. And back then, if you had a direct domain name match, when you're doing it in a Google search, your site would pop up very first, right? So they got the site, they developed the formulation, they got it all ready to go. They started pushing it out there, and actually it was kind of a dud, right? Compared to all the other brands that they've done in the past, comparatively, right? This one was really slow. But we kind of had a big break when Ray Lewis, if you remember Ray Lewis, in the Super Bowl, he got caught with a receipt that he bought deer antler spray, and deer antler is actually banned in the NFL. Okay. Right? It gives everybody a competitive edge to be able to recoup so much faster. And he had torn his tricep. So they caught him with this receipt, and we woke up one morning, and all of a sudden we went from like 1 or 2 sales a day to over 100 sales in the one morning. We're like, what the freak is going on? Well, it was all over ESPN. We got hit up by all of our friends and family, like, dude, turn on ESPN. Deer Antlers on there like crazy. And so everybody was coming to our website to buy deer antler. And it just kind of took off, right? We sold through every single unit that we had that very first day. We had like 3,000 units. We were trying to slow it down by raising the price. Like we went from, it was like 39 to 49 to 69, and then we finally ended the day all of them at 99.99, right? And we
Yeah.
still sold out of all of it. It was crazy. And then got a big break where GNC hit us up the next day, hit up my brother Ryan, and was like, hey, we need to get your product into our stores. We'll skip all the red tape. We need to get this going. It's a hot item. What do we need to do? Can you fulfill a big order? We're like, Ryan's like, heck yeah, let's go. So they started with this, and then after a while, they would do these shows at GNC, and some of the guys at these shows were like, dude, you guys need to come out with more products. And that's when they went back to the ambassadors, they meaning Jeff and Ryan, they went back to the ambassadors and were like, hey, we're going to come out with a pre-workout. What should we call it? And someone threw out there, hey, call it Bucked Up. So we hurried, went online, saw that it was available, bought it, right? Bought buckedup.com. And we came out with, it was at the time one of the only pre-workouts that actually was a non-proprietary blend where you could see everything that you're getting, right?
Okay.
With none of the extra filler crap that you don't need, super clean, right? And then we wanted to make sure that it was the very best tasting thing on the market, because back then all the pre-workouts tasted like garbage, right?
Sure.
We came out with that one. We made 1,000 units and we put it to the test. We went out to the LA Fit Expo, and at the LA Fit Expo, we sold, when I say we, I wasn't part of the company yet. I'm saying we as a company.
Sure.
They sold 1,000 units, all 1,000 of them in 2 days.
Oh,
They
wow.
sold all of them. So we knew we were onto it. And that's when we started doing, Jeff and Ryan started really putting, fuel behind the fire and started pushing this out quite a bit. And eventually got to the point where Ryan hit me up. And he's like, yo, we need you to come over and work with us. I was doing home loans at the time as a loan officer. And he just knew that I love to work hard and, compete and be the best at whatever I was doing. So he hit me up and he's like, we need you to come over and help with this. And for a long time, it was just me, Jeff, Ryan, and like 4 other people. Really, that's all there was part of the company. We grew it like crazy.
Sure.
And it wasn't until, we couldn't do much more. We needed help. So we needed to hire on more and more and more people. But it's crazy. We, from 2016 to where we are now, in 9 years, we've grown that thing from, to humble beginnings with nothing to now we're the number one selling pre-workout company in the nation right now. We have the number one selling pre-workouts. We're the number 12 energy drink in the world, well, in the US right now. And we're just continuing to get more and more popular. And it's been fun. It's been an awesome ride.
One of the things that I love too is like you guys are so family oriented. It's important to be around the family. It's all family in there. I see the nephews and everybody's kids are there. So I think it's great that you guys are like so family oriented and you guys are just focusing on going to the top.
Yeah, we all got the same goal. We want this to be a household name. So, it was fun having Connor with us for a while, because when we would go to all these different places, right, we'd go somewhere and we'd say, hey, have you ever, like in our Ubers from going from the airport to wherever we're going, we always ask, hey, have you ever heard of Bucked Up before? And a lot of the time we got no. We're like, oh, well, good. We got a lot of work to do. We're still there. We can still push, right? It's not a household name yet. But then we're like, well, do you know Connor? Connor McGregor? And everybody's like, oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we just signed him. How cool is that? And so, we're just trying to get to that point where it's a household name. Everybody knows who we are and they're confident in what they get with us. And it's fun.
I live in northern Wisconsin. I see it at Walmart, so I think it's great. Like I can't wait to see more and more flavors. We right now, I think we have Rocket Pop and like one other, but I can't wait to see more and more flavors like in the stores.
Yeah, that's the goal. So we're working with a lot of the big companies right now, where we're getting positioned into their SKUs or planograms. Right, we're getting
Mhm.
placed in their slots, and it's so competitive to be able to expand, because you've got to be able to prove yourself first. So like in Walmart, they gave us 2 spots. They're like, if
Sure.
you can prove yourself in these 2 spots, then we'll think about expanding you. And every time that they've given us more and more spots, we've proven ourselves that people like the brand, they want it, and they want more of it. Just like you said, they want more than just the 2 flavors. They want the whole alignment, man. They want all of it.
Okay, so I know you're a nice guy, but the last question I always ask people when the first time I interview them, do you remember the first time you were in a fight, like the first time you punched somebody out of anger? And you can't include your brothers, so I know one of them probably caught those hands. But do you remember the first time you were in a fight in school? Do you remember the first time you hit somebody out of anger?
You know what's funny? I never got in a fight.
I figured as much.
I had never gotten in a fight. The only time I got in a fight was when I was defending one of my friends, and he was getting beat up by like 6 people. And so I'm one of those guys, like, you mess with my family, you mess with my friends, then I just lose it, right? But me getting into a fight one on one with someone, it never happened. Like I said, that first fight that I did, I had never even thrown a punch.
Oh
Not even
wow.
thrown a punch. I never even punched somebody in the face. And I went out there and I elbowed this dude in the face, knocked him out in 2 minutes. So yeah, I couldn't even tell you. So that fight right there, that was the first time I'd ever felt that, and it was sick. It was awesome.
I think it's great. I talk to you guys who are, like professional fighters. Like I've never been in a fight, or they've been in a lot of fights. So I kind of figured you were the nice guy and you probably hadn't. All right, before we wrap it up, is there any message to the fans or any shout outs or anything you'd like to give before we call it a day?
I mean, only shout outs is just to the family, appreciate everybody's support with everything, getting behind me. It's going to be awesome. The whole state of Utah is going to turn out for this. And I feel the pressure. I definitely feel the pressure. And being gone for so long, the one thing I'll have to say is this: look, there's complainers and there's doers, right? There's people who talk crap. There's people who will criticize and say everything, but there's only a few people that'll actually do it, right?
Sure.
And there's no reason why you can't go out and do whatever you say you want to, right? There's no reason why me being gone for 13 years can't say, you know what? Why not me? Why can't I just get out there and do what I want to do and what I love doing, right? Competing. So you're not too old. It's not too late. Go and do what you want to do and have fun with it, because this has been awesome to do this.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to watching it. Like, go out there, win your fight. We can talk about how great of an experience it was, afterwards. All right. Thanks so much for your time, dude. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a good day. Thanks. Bye.